Welcome, everybody, to the green room. Let me get that slideshow started. Oh no, Cobra infestation! Whoa!
Ah.
Oh boy. Hope you're all getting ready. Please find
Hey,
your
Joe.
seats. What's up, Joe? Welcome, Kayla. All other mysteries. Hope you guys are here to learn. This is from a straight up cassette. So the training video is only 30 minutes, so I'll probably only be able to squeeze a 2-hour show out of it.
Oh, that's all. Yeah.
Because we got to talk about Blockbuster first. I've got some interesting ideas that aren't important, but I'm going to say them. What is up,
Hey.
Big Salmon? Welcome to the broadcast. Or technically before the broadcast. This is a Blockbuster video. Wow, what a difference. You may have seen the name of the show or perhaps the thumbnail. Spent a lot of time on that. You come in here asking me what we're doing. Blockbuster was the biggest thing. It was wow, what a difference. God, what a great Hi everybody. Dr. Dick.
Hi, everybody.
Got a lot of feelings about Blockbuster, but I don't want to
Say them now.
Yeah, I don't want to start tipping in the green room.
Uh-huh.
I usually have a little tidbit of something to fill this time as people filter in and find their seats, but today I'm bereft of topics. I guess if you, I'm going to talk about this. I was just on Decon versus the Dark show yesterday. It went live today.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pleasantly surprising time. Very enjoyable.
Yeah. I listened the whole time. He didn't know I was there.
Lurking.
I was lurking in the chair.
That's what you get with a really great studio is you can have a lot of people just skulking either behind camera or off mic. Hello,
Hey,
Tony.
Tony.
Welcome. Hope you're ready to learn how to rent tapes because this is ripped from a cassette tape, number one.
Oh, good.
Oh, so yeah. So we're talking about Blockbuster, and I was like, you know what? Let's jump down a rabbit hole a little bit tonight. So we're going to walk through that a little bit. I don't want to spoil it yet. But after the training, we're going to jump down a little bit of a rabbit hole and see, like, what is up with that? And by that, I mean the thing that I saw that I'm going to show you later. You ever went to Blockbuster?
We went to Blockbuster, and we also did dabble at one of the local weird ones, but we only went like a handful of times that I remember because we were in the area.
Yeah, maybe it was because my family's aesthetic was to like the mantle of being poor. But yeah, we never went to mainstream, if you would call them that, video rental places until I was like in a car by myself and able to drive. Then I was haunting Hollywood Video and Blockbuster all the time.
I don't even remember.
I don't need to remember you.
I don't know if there was a Hollywood Video where I lived, because I do not.
Typically probably a West Coast thing because of the Hollywood.
Well, whatever.
Oh, sorry, Big Salmon.
Oh no.
That's what happens when you go across the world. We get, you know, the internet's a powerful thing, but sometimes it's still kind of shaky. All right, let's see. Get everything ready here. Oh boy. This is kind of light lifting too, because it's not something I haven't seen this at all before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, full disclosure. Okay, Hollywood Video did make it all the way out east.
Okay.
So cool. But yeah, I've not seen this before. So unlike all the interrogations that I've watched a million times that I'm sort of spoiling for you all along the way, this will be completely new for all of us, despite what you're going to see me wearing once the camera goes live. Because that's very important to this show.
The weird local video store that I remember going to a handful of times, Joe, also had a back room.
Oh, they all did. I mean, how could you not?
Yeah, how could you not?
Well, that was the thing. Like, this was pre-internet. Well, hold on. Jesus Christ. If we're going to start talking about it, We're going to shut up.
It's been
and we're
6
gonna
minutes. Start the show.
talk about
Dog. Cat. Mouse. Turtle.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Hey everybody, and welcome to your training video. Welcome to the show. It's my show. My name is Dave. I'm wearing a special vest because I'm your supervisor for the evening as we, like I said, we're both going to be learning about how to ultimately serve our customers at a Blockbuster Video.
You should be scared, Brent.
Yeah, buckle up because I don't know, man. I get how this can probably instill a lot of emotions with people because if you worked at a place where you had to watch this stuff, there can be trauma attached because if it was like your first job and it sucked or whatever, you can probably build yourself up into sucking in this situation. Because here, quick story, I had to run to the bank at my actual job and like the smell of where I work, which is an urgent care, like rubs off on me and on the money. So when I go to the bank, and this young teller, she was probably in her 20s, like the smell wafted through and she picks up the money. She's like, "Oh, you work in urgent care." And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, this is bringing back traumatizing memories of like shots and stuff."
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that probably wasn't us. You're too young for art or too old. I don't know. Time is a fucking flat circle. She was a young kid and I was like, "Shut up and just make the deposit." Krista is also here.
I am here.
We're enjoying some homebrew. Oh, yeah.
cool.
There we go.
I mixed the rest of our strawberry bodacious mead with my
Strawbodacious.
strawbodacious with my plum cider that we had left over, and it's delicious.
Yeah. So let's talk about. So I feel like because I was thinking about this more and more, and I was like, is this just pure nostalgia for the sake of like every other man-child with all this shit behind them, like going like, oh, the past and wah. But I have an interesting take on this because it's not just blind nostalgia and how things were better in the past. Yeah, I do feel that way because I'm a cranky old man, but hear me out. Blockbusters and Hollywood Videos and even your awesome little no-name places, and some even still exist to this day. I'm surprised. We've got a House of Used here in Arizona that I frequent sometimes. So, moral of the story is it appeals to a lot of things. First and foremost, our innate instinct or desire or vestige of hunting and gathering. Because there's something, I don't care when or where you're born, whether you grew up with nothing but the internet or before the internet, it doesn't matter. There's still something compelling and interactive, and it's a real experience shopping for something in real life.
Yes.
Like scrolling through Amazon or scrolling through Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or any of that shit. Anything that you can get now without ever leaving home. It's nice when you're feeling lazy, but I still love, especially now that you're allowed to, I love getting out and doing things again. And it sucks that the Blockbuster and its ilk are gone by and large, because leaning into the second thing, on top of us loving to be hunter-gatherers and like getting that visceral experience of like picking something up and looking at it and reading it, it's kind of like, you know, in a sense, you're going through a field of crops, finding the one for you. So it works on just so many levels. But the most important level is it was a finite choice. The biggest Blockbuster did not have so much that you could never, ever make up your mind. It wasn't like a fucking Supermart from Clerks, the TV series.
That's true.
Like, people need that. people need to have their brains not overly taxed, because there are people like me who like stare into the infinite abyss that is literally every streaming service that is functionally infinite. Like you could dive into one, never come out until you're dead. So how do you make a decision? You go off word of mouth or whatever. So I don't know how you pick yours, but it's sometimes stifling. It was nice to go in and say, here are the new releases for horror. 12 of them.
Yeah.
You'd say, well, I don't want zombies, so these 6 are out. I don't want a Neo Frankenstein retelling, so that's out. And you would whittle your way down. But if I were to, and I sometimes do, just to see if I've gotten over the paralyzing effect of just an infinite choice, I'll sometimes scroll through and I go, oh, that looks good, but let's keep going, because you can't always keep going.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I should have just done that one because I already forgot what it was called, and now I can't find it again.
Right, you've wasted 40, 50
That's
hours.
bedtime.
Yeah, a week. Not even entertaining yourself, just like trying to find entertainment. And I loved going in there, and because they had a healthy mix. They had the A-list shit and then the lower class asylum level brain damage films bullshit that I would also live by.
Right.
It was, I don't know. And here's the thing. If you've got a story of a place that you're going to now, or if you want to like tell me an anecdote of one place that you know of in particular, because the one I grew up with, it was a no-name place, I loved. It smelled like it was a mom and pop store. So they had like popcorn popping and shit in there and like all the movie candies. And it almost smelled like a theater to complete the experience. On top of, I'm sure, being the cheapest place to rent and being practically up the street because, again, the visage were poor.
Brant says it's also interconnecting with your inner child when
Totally.
When the rush of going with your parents or solo and have the pressure of a choice.
Right.
Once you get home, you have to watch that thing because it's the only thing you have.
Right, because you were locked in when it was physical media. And there was also those layers too, right? Because now anybody unsupervised can go onto Netflix unless your parents are savvy enough to put on like locks or whatever and horrify yourself silly.
Yeah.
Whereas like back in the day, you had to, because if your parents were the strict ones and had that on lock, you had to wait till you were at a permissive friend's house for a sleepover or some other, a cousin or something like that. And so, you were waiting for those milestones that because you'd see them. I saw all the horror films lining that, that everybody had those metal racks that were in every no-name video rental store. And I go, oh man, just one day. I was a wuss, so I was fooling myself. I was never going to watch those. But I kept thinking, like, I can't wait to get over that hump to get, like, no more parents being like, that looks too violent. Like, it's so embarrassing. Like, knowing that you're mature enough for something. Like, because you've heard about it from people at school. Like, I was a wuss. Again, I wasn't going to get in too deep because I had horrifying cousins, or rather not horrifying cousins, but cousins that would horrify me and show me horrifying material, like all the Romero zombie films and just like the most horrifying shit that I should not have seen. So I knew not to get in too deep. So to have them gatekeep it further to be like, it's PG-13 and be like, yeah, I was like, humiliating, but whatever. So that's the thing. It's not just pure nostalgia. It harkens back to like a stepping stool process in our culture for this sort of genre. I think there's a lot that we are now missing because the brick and mortar video stores are supplanted by big business not wanting to create, or rather and produce, physical media. Because holy shit, I realize it's now easier for anybody to get noticed and, it sort of raises and levels the playing field for all and sundry. But Jesus, as a consumer, it sucks. Personally, sorry if you're one of those people who doesn't agree. Okay.
Or so you think and you're up all night. Yeah.
Well, eventually the Blockbuster closes too. It's like, that if in your pajamas, in your bed, sitting at home, Netflixing and chilling, you can spend 2 hours like watching the previews or watching the first 30 seconds and be like, meh. Whereas eventually someone in a blue shirt's going to go like, guess what, dude? You've been here 3 hours and the place smells.
Old school cabin in the woods in the 80s. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. All right, so buckle up for a wild ride, I hope. This was, again, since it's on cassette, I'm not sure when it was produced, but I hope early. Oh my God.
Mhm.
The aesthetic I miss.
And I loved when you would go and rent a movie and you know the one you want to rent. I didn't love it. But then you go and you look and there's none there except for just the empty box.
Oh yeah. Like
That was
going
a
to
kick to the dick.
going to the new release, like that was the other thing that it sets you up for a lesson in reality because you are subject to the rules of the universe. And sometimes you can be that kid who is good all week, does your homework, gets the goodie at the end of the week, which is the trip to Blockbuster to see the new release of the VHS release of the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, only to see a wall of emptiness and a fucking 16-year-old pimple-faced teenager be like, yeah, they're all God. And then having to get stuck with like fucking... I don't even remember I was so traumatized. I hope this isn't very generic.
Hi, I'm Brandy Little, and I'll be taking you through the Blockbuster
Look at that
customer
jacket.
service program.
Is she famous?
In the last few years, the retail business has become increasingly competitive. More and more retailers have been struggling just to stay alive.
Is this the
The
internet?
survivors follow a simple formula: listening to their customers and meeting their expectations. That's
I
not
miss
a
you.
formula for success. That's a formula for survival. Some
Okay, there's a saying of thou dost protest too much, which always rings to mind when I hear someone confidently stating something like everything is okay or I have no, and then they go and bankrupt or whatever. This feels like using the word survival in the first 30 seconds of your training video feels like a red flag, but let's continue. I'm eager. I'm ready to work. You know what I mean?
retailers, however, not only survive, but thrive. These businesses listen to their customers.
It's not even like a leather jacket. It's like a
It's-
polyester, huge lapelled windbreaker.
Right. It's totally a windbreaker that they wanted to look like she was a badass with leather.
P.S. I'm going to hive mind this, and even into the future, if you know where to get a man's shirt with the lapel this size, please drop it in the comments.
But
What
then
do you
they
Medium,
take
size
what they
medium.
learn
Woman
one
is doing for a
important step
job these
further.
days.
Instead
Same
of simply
shit.
trying to
Yeah.
meet their customers' expectations,
Maybe the same jacket.
they attempt to exceed them.
Oh, yeah, she's got a big, like a Murphy's bed, but you pull it down and it's all of her Blockbuster outfits. She's just waiting to pull back into rotation.
Their goal is to build and maintain strong customer loyalty, to attract new
I was
customers
loyal.
and keep our
It was the
existing ones.
others
Our goal
Blockbuster.
at Blockbuster is not just to satisfy customers, but to delight them. This customer service program is designed
Whatever. We're watching Training, and that's not reality, because if Blockbuster, like if their customer service had been like Chick-fil-A's is, they might have lasted. I don't know how they would have fared during the pandemic, obviously, because that killed a lot of things. But I feel like it might have lasted up until at least that point, because that was just it. Like it, even I at a certain point was like, Netflix is easier because it was shiny and new, and you go, oh boy, I don't have to drive and mess with anybody, because I forgot the simple pleasures. We got so complacent in our, finite brick and mortar having, to go somewhere. I miss it like hell. And look at this lady here, her goddamn nylon windbreaker. I want her back.
Brant, is this
skills
onboarding?
necessary to consistently
It is.
exceed customer expectations.
This is the only time you'll ever be headhunted for a company that no longer exists.
Mhm.
Which, I'm no what's the name? The Great Karnak. But I guarantee Blockbuster, if they still exist, is going to copyright claim this video, which is
For those
fine.
of you new to retail, this program provides a great introduction to Blockbuster's approach to service. For those of you with solid retail experience, well, this program gives you the chance to brush up on old
Yours
skills and
truly. I
learn
didn't
some
get
new
this
ones.
vest for nothing.
Like most things in life, you'll get out of this program what you put into it. Your active participation will make it a worthwhile experience not only for you, but also
But
for
me.
others in the store. Your commitment to apply what you've learned to your everyday interactions will help you get results that far exceed what you thought was possible.
Is it at all like now that she's like using words like experience and remember this and bring it to the customers? Is it at all possible to get anyone in an entry level position like at a Blockbuster or a Burger King or a PetSmart or anything like that invested? Like if they're not, no amount of this training is going to get them on board. And most people are in these jobs are going to be kids.
Right. It's like their parents are making them get a job so they could afford their car insurance or something. And
Yeah, everyone I knew who worked at Blockbuster was my age, and right about that time, it was like between 16 and 18. And it just feels like I always resented the idea that I was supposed to buy onto this corporate culture and like the tone deafness of all of the material, right? Like, is it not understood at this point that teenagers are the root of counterculture? Right? Like they are the essence of rebelling. Everybody talks about how rebellious they were as a teenager, how rebellious their kids are going to be or have been. And so it's well known. And so the fact that we sit down and we go, okay, how do we train our new employees, which will by and large be teenagers uninvested in what we do fundamentally? We go, hey, buy into corporate culture, kids. And like when they're not wearing their blue polos and their khakis, they got like fucking denim vests with like big black anarchy symbols pinned to the
Patches.
back and shit. Read the room. I talk about this in true crime too. If you're going to be effective at your job and your job is communicating to people, read the room. Holy shit, right?
Joe says, I
doing
feel
so-
like even with that shit in customer service, they still would have only made it to the early 2010s. The driving factor was how accessible high-speed internet was.
Right. I'm just postulating, obviously. Like we can't say one way or the other, but it other places have withstood, like the internet hasn't crushed everything, and I'm still a fan of physical media. There are still stores out there, like Zia Records still exists, like the secondhand market has to exist because that's how most of the lower end of society fills their drug habit. Like when I worked at a record store, most of the things we got in trade used, everybody took the huge cut in offering that we already took on top of the store credit for the cash because they, 10 copies of a movie mysteriously fell off of a truck or whatever.
You'll earn the trust from your customers, respect from your peers, recognition from your managers, and a sense of pride that comes from being the best. Sometimes, even
Here's the thing. I'll tell you, the only places I've worked where I gave a shit was where everybody there was, I mean, not like we weren't bullshitting each other. Like this was our career. We just knew that while we were there, we were essentially a family, and we knew the problem children and we knew who the parents were. And it just sort of has to act as an actual family. You have to have compassion. You have to have understanding. But, you can't let people run wild. It's like when it's overly bureaucratic. Like, for instance, I'm thinking of when I worked at Petco. Everybody was cool. We all knew what to do. Nobody rode each other's asses. I was never being told to do what I was supposed to do because I fucking knew. But there was a manager who was just like letter of the law instead of spirit of the law. And so instead of just being a cool manager, he would put on his weird European dubstep techno shit on the store and constantly patrol with a clipboard after hours to make sure we were doing exactly what we were doing exactly when we should be doing it.
Wow.
And that guy could have been in a training video. Like, that's how fucking dedicated he was to Petco. He was the fucking wet dream of whoever produced this. But that's not real life.
Right.
You bend over backwards for the people you like. When I worked at Burger King, I didn't care about the job, but Mary Jane, I would have fucking... there's a lot I wouldn't have done because she was just a manager at Burger King, but I would have done a lot.
Even with the best intentions, our efforts fall short of exceeding customer expectations. At other
Karens
times,
and
our efforts
Chads,
don't
am I
even
right?
meet their minimal expectations. These situations are referred to as pitfalls. Watch now as CSRs demonstrate 4 pitfalls to avoid.
CSRs?
After each pitfall, stop the tape and answer the
Customer
workbook
service
questions
representative.
before
Wow.
moving on to the next pitfall.
Whoa, we don't have that. We're out of Whoppers. Look at those pants. Yeah.
Looking good.
Do you believe for a second this person is a customer? In their training videos, they can't even have the people playing real people look like real people. Like, these are 2 Sims characters about to interact. Here we go.
Excuse me, what do you know about this movie?
Nothing.
Nothing. Haven't seen it. Sorry.
I will join Tarzan.
Yeah. Workbook questions.
So let me ask you this. Even like, all signs exist for a reason, right? Like, if you look at a sign that's posted somewhere and you no matter how ridiculous it is, they had to put it there because something happened to necessitate it. And probably more than once, because you don't erect a sign for a freak event.
Yep.
So it always, to me, felt like, what a fucking waste of time. Like, this is below being a human 101. This is like less than social interact. Like, this is the preschool of social interaction. Like, if we have to stop and be like, hey, if someone asks you a question, the first thing we shouldn't do is be a full force, like, level 11 dick and roll your eyes at their innocent question. Now, let's stop tape and we'll circle all the mistakes. Like, what?
And who grades these workbooks?
It just feels like just being a human. I wanted to be nice to other people because that's how you get along.
What do you mean I returned my last video late? That
This bitch, though, I fucking hate her. I would have kicked her right out of the fucking store. I'd be like, Karen, take that big ass collared shirt and that tight ass hair. No, I'm just kidding.
was the day that ice storm came through. I couldn't even get out my driveway.
Okay, let's look at the really quick, not to disprove what she's saying, but Blockbuster has a rental period of what, at max 7 days? She probably has a new release, so let's say 3. Look at the weather outside, just real quick. Do you see any trace of clouds, snow, ice, anything other than a tropical and/or desert setting? No. Refund denied, or whatever. Membership revoked.
I'm sorry, that's the policy.
I hate you. It's our policy. Not to worry, it's our policy. Stop tape. And then, not to further add the icing on the cake, but it's compounded each time the tape has to stop. The humiliation that I don't know if you felt it, but I definitely felt it in these circumstances. But there was always one person in the class that was like, whoa. And I go, where are you from? Like, this is new to you? Politeness, a novel idea from
Next same
Blockbuster.
lady.
Next.
Untuck your shirt, bitch. Hey, it's Dante from Clerks.
Huh.
Hello?
I'm checking my AOL Instant Messenger. Please hold. Do you... it's almost like watching a silent movie, right? Because before the introduction of sound to film, those two things becoming integrated, you had to do things so big and so broad that nothing could be left murky. Nothing could be left obscure. Like Buster Keaton couldn't be like, and then he said this. No, he has to have a building fall on him and fly through the window or jump off a building or whatever. So I get it. We have to appeal to the lowest common denominator. But this feels like we picked him up and like rented a backhoe and dug another 20 feet and like that was the standard.
Kayla goes, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
What if it was a rare El Nino storm that I was told was a danger in California from rocket power?
Negative. You're still, your membership is revoked. Do you think after the Dante there when he was like, the guy's on the computer, he's like, my girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. That would have got him off the computer.
Probably.
Hey, gonna rent Arlington Road, I see? Great story, but
What a weird way to stand, sir. Like, what the fuck?
summer ending.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, D-bag.
That is, I don't.
Did the Blockbuster employees know anything about all the movies that were coming in, realistically?
They shouldn't have to, but whatever. More like they're just saying, don't spoil it. In a row? Yeah, hilarious. In a row. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. In a row? Yeah, so. Dang it. What happened? I hit the wrong button. There we go. I forget where I was going with that because we were way off topic. So here we go. Maybe it'll come to me in this moment of silence for the fallen blockbusters. Oh, yeah, spoilers. Like, that wasn't even a spoiler. Like, by and large, you know the tone of the movie you're going to be renting. Like, if you got, like, Steel Magnolias and you're like, obviously, or Schindler's List, and the person's like, whoa, what a sad movie. You wouldn't be like, oh, bro!
You throw it on the ground and leave.
Yeah, like, it's not like, oh, it was his sled. It wasn't like that. I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it. And now I won't pay you the $1.99 for the weekend rental, good
man.
sir.
When you focus on the customer, you tell them with your words and actions that they are your top priority, above all other tasks and assignments. Focusing on the customer benefits both you and customers. When you focus on customers, you develop trust, send a clear message that you want to help make customers feel that they've been treated like individuals, and prevent or relieve stressful situations. Service principle number 1 includes 3 skills called guideposts.
I don't like that.
I don't feel like, maybe it's me, but I never was in, nor did I witness any high pressure situations at a Blockbuster. Every time I interacted with them, they were able to help me and or get me the information I needed. They either led me to the movie or they said they didn't have it. There are some places where you go where maybe you do want to develop a trust with your customer base, but like if you're just renting videos, you know, you're like when I worked at Zia Records, like our usuals would come in because music was released on a Tuesday because critics didn't want it released on a weekend because they wanted a full week to review something and blah, blah, all the pedantic bullshit. So people would show up like at midnight on a Monday because when we were legally allowed to sell it. And like you'll have those people, you'll have those diehard fans and you'll know them and whatever. You'll develop a trust with those people. But by and large, people don't want to be fucked with. I don't want to, I appreciate a friendly attitude. I don't appreciate the above and beyond. Like sometimes, don't get me wrong. Like, again, it's like reading the room. I cannot be more overt with my body language. If you know me, you probably are aware that I don't hide a lot of feelings. And so I feel like just fucking see that and fuck off. But here they have to be like, well, hang around, ask them about their favorite sock color. Like, what did they have for breakfast? If they had to go with shredded wheat, would they want the frosting?
Kale said, regarding having the employees know about the movies, when I worked at the comic store, we'd take stacks of books home and read them, then bring them back the next day. I imagine some Blockbusters did the same.
Yeah, I never worked at a Blockbuster, but at Zia Records, we had a policy where you could rent, quote unquote, just basically borrow any 5 items for a week.
Just to have that knowledge.
Yeah, so like, and that was the idea. It was like to build your base in other music genres or other movies or video games or whatever. And I took advantage of that whole hog because it was just like a wealth of. I got so much out of that job. Like, you didn't pay shit, but I gained an appreciation for all sorts of jazz, all kinds of world music, like the really interesting flavors of metal that are just below the surface. But you know, it just feels like, again, maybe I'll double down on this. At your local store, I would expect that for the people to be overly friendly, but like at a corporate store, I would expect the sort of sanitized, like, let me know if you need anything, not like the, oh man, did you see the scene where, because that would be the latter, not the former, or vice versa.
Listen effectively. Guidepost number 2 is act promptly. Guidepost number 3 is ask for feedback.
Am I doing well,
the first
sir?
Guidepost, listen effectively. Listening effectively lets customers know that you've understood, really understood what they've said. As a result of listening effectively, customers feel good about you and the store, stressful situations can become less difficult, and positive interactions can be made even better. You will now watch 2 video examples of CSRs as they listen effectively to customers. Each video
in completely unrealistic situations.
In video example 1A, the customer makes a comment or expresses a concern, but the CSR misses the...
Does like the lightheartedness and the fun poppy like dance music of it all sort of get undercut when she's like, example 1A?
This is so... Yeah, it's all weird. Every letter being capitalized at the beginning bothers me.
It's disconcerting. It's like an unholy mashup of like the trends that were dying in the 90s and like the disgusting aesthetic and fashion of the baby 2000s. What a time to be alive. Like, oh my God. I can't think, like, you can point to any decade you want and point to its fashion foibles, like the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, and they all have their weird trends. Like, the early 2000s was by far, to me, the grossest. Like, the most generic, the greasiest, the spikiest, the pleatheriest, the fucking worst.
Before going on to video example 1B.
See you guys at 1B, you cool cats.
I've heard this is a great workout video, but I haven't actually
lackeys.
seen it. I don't know if it's the right one for me. I mean...
Pause! Oh, God damn it. My video is in the way, so you can't see it. So let me... I want to... Yeah, you can't see it, so let me move... My face is constantly in the way this episode, so let me move myself. Look at that, bitch! What do you think that is? That's a Motorola right there! Holy shit!
That's funny.
There... the days... we have it so easy. Like, you can spit game from the toilet today if you wanted to. Like, to impress a girl back in the day, at my first job when I was 16, I was a supervisor, so I was allowed to fuck off a little. But I'd be like, good job, everybody. I'll be right back. And I would go into the office and I would call my girlfriend's pager to leave her a voicemail on her pager that she would get after she got home from her job. Aww. And like, and now like you just be like, sup, bitch. Like, I get, now a picture of your genitals is like, boop. And like, this is basically a stone or clay tablet in comparison. Like, I had to press a whole bunch of numbers and listen to an automated voice message every time and hear the Motorola be like, hey, you want a pager too, bitch? And I was like, nope.
I don't want to be stuck buying it and then watch it once or twice and then file it away forever.
Don't worry about
I'll
that.
file it under unwatched.
It's very popular.
I didn't say it was good. I just said it was popular.
Buy it, bitch. P.S. I don't know you.
In video example,
Do you like the movie? What kind of movies do you like? This is. I don't think this would happen at a Blockbuster. Am I so out of touch? Like, it's like.
My parents, we never, like, that. There was rarely, from what I remember, there was rarely even people, like, on the floor that worked at Blockbuster. They were always behind the counters.
Let me liken it to this. Like, Blockbuster, once you get to a certain size, your employees just don't give a shit because they're part of a machine that works with or without them. And it's akin to this. Like, the living example is like trying to get any help. I haven't shopped at a Walmart in nigh on a decade, but it's like trying to find help at a Walmart.
Yeah.
You find somebody who's, essentially in street clothes with just a blue vest that says, "How may I help you today?" And you go, "Where is X product?" And they go, "Huh." And so then it becomes the both of you looking aimlessly for something.
And then they call somebody on their walkie-talkie, like, "Hey, do you know where the CLR is?"
Not to say that there aren't employees that go above and beyond, or there weren't Blockbusters like that, but I fucking... Like, I want to go to a place that looks and smells family-owned to get advice like that. Or I want to see it, like, on the face of the kid who's breathlessly telling me about how great Taxi Driver is, because there's, like, conviction. I'm not going to be like, "Well, sell me this video, uninterested
Yeah, they're
employee."
not salesmen. They're just people that check you out.
What if you don't want to watch it after the third time? I don't know. Shut up.
It's a comment or expresses a concern, but this time the CSR does listen.
This time we've got it right.
After watching video example 1B, stop the tape and jot down your answers to the questions in the workbook before going on to video example 2.
Where do you think all these workbooks ended up? Just in a landfill?
I've heard this was a great workout video, but I haven't actually seen it. I don't know if it's the right one for me.
Well, you are fat, so that
I don't want to be
helps.
stuck buying it and then watch it once or twice and then file it away forever.
You want to be sure that this tape is the right one for you before purchasing it.
Exactly.
You just repeat the same thing she just said. Also, they talked about, like, the person that's watching this to stop and write in your workbook. They take these home and do it? It's not like a whole meeting?
No, this is definitely, like, they're doing this in the back room of a Blockbuster. But are now we supposed to postulate what to do? Like, hey, you're right. You should be... How? This predates YouTube. And we can't advocate piracy. So, to be sure about this video, how do you suggest we proceed, Blockbuster? Because you suspiciously cut to black in the clutch.
Yep.
I hope it is right after this. I doubt it, though.
Oh, they're in the same landfill as the ET Atari games, Kayla says.
My boyfriend's birthday
All the way in New Mexico?
He loves movies. Problem is,
Check this out. Tucked, crisp. Look at that. These are like both of their pants. Fucking ironed. They look like
he's
puppets.
so particular. He'll never tell me if I've got the wrong one. I mean, if I get him a movie, he'll tell me it's perfect, even if he hates it. You know what I mean?
How about getting him a video game instead?
Know what I mean, Vern? He doesn't own a video game
right.
system. I don't know how that would exactly work. I don't rightly know. Was that an example? Seriously? Like, if he's into movies and she's just bad at picking the movies, this is a communication issue. It's not a media format. It's not a storytelling expression issue. It's you don't know his fucking taste. Maybe pay attention.
My boyfriend's birthday's coming up, and he loves movies. Problem is, he's so particular. He'll never tell me if I've got the wrong one. I mean, if I get him a movie, he'll tell me that he thinks it's perfect.
Gift card, bitch.
Even if he hates it.
Do it.
You know what I mean?
Do it.
You want to get him something he'll really enjoy, right?
Gift card.
Something he might even get for himself.
Gift card. Get him a gift card. That's it? You're not even... We're not even going to like talk about upselling. We're not going to talk about the possibilities. It's just like, okay, well...
We're just going to repeat the same thing that you just said.
If you're completely checked out, like, here's the thing. If you're into someone, it's almost impossible not to get what they are into by osmosis, at least tangentially. Like, you're able to pick up the broad strokes enough for the clutch birthday gifts or whatever. This is more of an interpersonal problem than a Blockbuster problem, so I retract the statement. Let's move on.
Acting promptly, you demonstrate a sense of urgency that lets customers know that their needs are important. Acting promptly means acknowledging the customer's presence immediately and stopping any non-customer related activities. You will now have a chance to watch 2 video examples.
If they ask for the bathroom, shut that shit down. If they want to know your age, name, or race, no. It's about the business. You talk about the movies and the types of media we have them on, which is at this point, I think, only cassettes. That's it. It's like if you're a POW, name and serial number. That's it.
CSRs as they act promptly with customers. Each video example has 2 parts.
I can't wait for nothing to be resolved.
In video example 1A, the CSR misses the opportunity to act promptly.
The crime scene
Stop the tape
resuscitation,
after video example
reenactment.
1A and answer the workbook questions before going on to video example 1B.
I don't know, man. We're not learning anything. Like, I'm your trainer, and I'm at a loss. Maybe we should be postulating. Look, they're playing like WWE Raw back there.
Yeah.
This is probably WWF, because it's before then. Oh, she thinks she's going to make a move. She's going to be like, hey, here's my pager number. I like the color of your collar, bitch.
Excuse me, where do you keep the Laserdisc section?
Hey, do you know that our pants are the same color and we both like tucking in shirts into pants with belts?
I'm sorry.
Madam,
like,
sir?
this situation, that was not... Like, if there's a worker in the same aisle as me and I'm looking at 2 things, not knowing what I want to do, I don't expect them to be like, do you need some help trying to figure out which shampoo you want?
Yeah, no, this is definitely... On top of being, like, initially insulting, now it's ultimately confusing.
Yeah.
Because what... If we're going to take the inference that we are so stupid that, like, common courtesy is beyond our comprehension at this point, and now we have to be taught it rudimentary speaking at our first job here at Blockbuster, then why be so obtuse and elusive about the methods? You feel like no matter who shows the video, you would want the P&P to be standard across the board. So leaving these... I can't even call them dangling threads. Like, a thread is something you can grab onto. This is like a sliver hanging out of a butt crack.
Well, not even, like, the customer could have been like, excuse me, like, can you help me, you know, blah, blah, blah.
You know, God helps those who helps themselves.
Example 1B, the CSR
Especially in a Blockbuster.
After watching video example...
P.S. If, like, your manager is like, go, like, at Zia, they'd say, hey, guess what? You're on Pop Rock I through K doing alphabetizing. That was your 8 hours. Like, I stood in front of a stack of CDs saying the alphabet over and over from I as I moved through the stacks all the way through.
Yeah.
I lost track of time. I lost track of people. People would walk by and bump into me. I had no idea. People would touch me and ask me a question. I go, So,
yeah, you get in the zone. Like, like, what yeah.
So don't break the balls of the dude who's fucking working. You Karen, untuck your shirt, you stuck-up bitch,
1B.
right?
Stop the tape and jot down your answers to the workbook questions before going on to video example 2. Again, stop the tape after the first example and answer the workbook questions before going on to the next.
Here we go.
Both of those are great movies.
Oh, I know. I've been wanting to see both of them, but I only have time to watch one over the weekend.
You know, one of those movies is a 5-day rental. You can watch one movie over the weekend and watch the other one later in the week.
Great. Thanks.
Didn't it look like he was about to, like, take her by the waist and usher her to the...
Now let's go to the checkout.
Like, hey, good news, bitch. But, okay, so yeah, here's the thing. A real customer like me would then go, oh, but then I got to drive back here fucking twice?
That too.
Pass.
And like, what if you're busy during the week?
Also, sir, me too. Keep your hands off my waist. Like, you see where the belt is, right? I want it to be above there. But not too far above. Oh my God, stop the tape. Got a forehead VCR in this bitch. Oh, Dante's back. I thought he was going to talk into a smartwatch.
You didn't even have anything.
It was subtle, but at least I got that one.
A long line? You didn't
A
want to
long
wait.
line, 4 open computers, 1 dude checking out, 1 dude doing mindless busy work in the back. He was right behind Dante. You couldn't miss him.
Well, why didn't he have any videos if he wanted to check out?
Because he saw the line. He's like, fuck this shit. He goes, I'm not even supposed to be here today. He's got to go meet Randall for a hockey game. This ass wipe is just like shuffling video cassettes behind him. And there's we've all been there. You want to get the fuck out. GTFO. Line's too long.
How are you today?
Late for dinner. Thought I'd pick up a video on the way home, but it looks like everyone else had the same idea.
Did you have a specific video in mind?
Yeah. Pulp Fiction. Tarantino rules.
You got that right. I just saw it on the shelf.
I want to show it to my kids. They said he's bringing it home to his kids, right? Am I crazy?
He's late for dinner, and that's everybody else had the same idea.
Okay, no, I must be inferring kids because I'm crazy.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Late for dinner. Thought I'd pick up a video on the way home, but it looks like everyone else had the same idea.
Did you have a specific...
Everyone else had the same idea. These people don't know what the fuck they're doing here. I just want to watch Pulp Fiction.
So he wanted to go wait in line at the register to ask if they had Pulp Fiction instead of going to look for Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a new release. Go to Action, go to P, pick it the fuck out, and by then 2 people will probably have burned their way through the line.
So the previous instance, I don't feel bad for him anymore.
I'm not even supposed to be here today. Look at my empty hands. I don't have a video. The line is long. What am I supposed to do?
Joe says weird that the Blockbuster training isn't as woke as the Hardee's one from the late 70s.
Isn't it? It's so weird. Like, we're being inclusive. Like, in the 70s, like, hey, just be cool to everybody. Now it's like, it's going to be a gut check type situation.
Video in mind?
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Tarantino rules.
You got that right. I just saw it on the shelf a few minutes.
I'm starting a blog about it. It's called Tarantino's Pizza Rolls, where I just watch Pulp Fiction every week while I eat a 24-pack of Totino's Pizza Rolls, and I write up a review of it every week. You should probably check it out. It's Totino'sPizzaRolls.com. Tarantino'sPizzaRolls.com.
Minutes ago, you're in a hurry. I'll tell you what. Just get online. I'll go grab the video and bring it over to you. That'll buy you 3 extra minutes. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay.
I fucking love the occasional Southern accent that looks like it shouldn't be coming out of that person.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm sorry. If this gets me canceled, so be it. But the first lady looked fucking Korean to me with a South Carolina accent. And this dude looks like he's from Asia, possibly like Northern India. And he's like, hey, y'all, let me get you that video. And it's like, what? I'm sorry if that's racist, but stereotypes are there. I'm sorry. I'm old. Go get you that video. Save you about 3 minutes walking through the fucking... Okay. Yeah.
The line would have still been there.
Tell you what, bitch. How about you get behind that other register, cut the time in half. I'll get the video myself because I don't have to wipe my own. I don't have to wipe my own ass. I don't have to. I'm an adult baby. I got to go and watch Pulp Fiction with my adult mommy. Gross.
The guy didn't watch the cashier's training video yet.
Expectations. It's important
new.
not only to listen, but also to ask
Everybody should be
customers
trained on the
how
register.
Blockbuster can improve or keep doing the right thing.
I begged. When I was at Petco, I begged to be put on the register because I so many times would go through that fucking store, that specific one that I got hired at, and be at the end of the line of 40 people when 2 employees standing with their thumbs in their asses like could have opened one of the other 3 open registers. And I would beg. Like, when I got hired, I was like, finally, it's now at the old Dave's time to grease the wheels of progress. I was like, yeah, you hired me for the fish, but guess what? Give me some hours behind that register so I can jump in should the need arise, because it's annoying as fuck. And they go, no.
You do the
Best employee they ever had, this guy.
Hey,
He
when
said
you
no.
when you did the fish, did you like go hide in that side room all the time so that it was totally empty and people would be waiting for you to get the damn fish? Because that's what they do now.
That's PetSmart. I worked at Petco. We were a little higher standard. Number one, we did not have a back room for the fish. It was for the reptiles, and it wasn't necessarily a back room. You could see right through it because it was so small, like all of the reptile cages. You could see me through there. And I would always have, God bless her, but Lindsay, every time someone would ask for crickets, I would say, you got it. And I would go sneakily ask Lindsay to get them for me because I did not touch bugs.
Asking for feedback makes customers feel that their opinions and ideas are valued. Here are 2 video examples of CSRs asking customers for feedback. Each video example has 2 parts. In video example 1A, the CSR misses the opportunity to ask for feedback.
He shoots, but he doesn't score. That's a brick in Blockbuster terms. Wasn't kind, didn't rewind.
Thanks very much.
See you, bitch.
That's all you need.
Okay, quickly, what do you think the missed opportunity was? I was wrong with the gift card upsell earlier. Do you think they've righted the ship? Tell me in the typing square. Before I hit play, I'm going to try and allow for the lag. What do you think is the problem? Now, keep in mind, every question I've asked so far has received 0 answers. So will this also get an answer? That's 2 questions for you, each worth 50 points, 100 total for an A in this class.
So you're not accounting for the lag then.
There's also a little bit of time here. And
in video example
she's got to
1B,
talk.
the CSR does ask for feedback.
Did you like the movie, bitch? I love Tarantino, she says.
Video. Great. How'd you like it?
Did you see that guy's blog, the Tarantino's Pizza Rolls?
Oh, it was great. De Niro is such a good actor.
Did you see him in Ronin?
No.
Excellent action, and De Niro's awesome. I just saw it on the shelf. Would you like to check it out?
Yes, but I don't have much time. Where is it?
It's over in action. Let me get someone to help you.
Oh, thanks.
W, touch your waist again.
If it weren't a couple of things that make this stupid, right? If this were like the size of a municipal library, like the City of Mesa Library, where it's like 2 floors, 25,000 square feet or whatever, and like, then you go, oh, whoa, in this situation, you go, oh, it's actually on the 2nd floor way in the back. And even though it's alphabetized, it would take a solid 8 minutes to get there. So yeah, you'd send the guy to grab your waist and like this Sherpa wants to do, Blockbuster Sherpa, grab you by the waist and throw you on his shoulders and run out there. But you can't be more than 15 feet from the tape, bitch. Like how, it just doesn't, a department store, Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, I could buy that. Where like you're checking out and you go, oh, I needed some shoes for my kids, and I saw the coupon. Oh, I know where those are. Oh, I'll run get them. Great, yeah, that makes sense. A JCPenney is going to be 2-3 stories. There might be, hundreds of square feet to cover in a matter of seconds. When it's like, oh yeah, it's literally right over there.
And
there are 6 genres in this store. There is action, and it's right there in R.
Also, I don't know about yours, but our Blockbusters had, like, you can return them outside. You didn't have to go inside. It had a pull down like when you were returning library books.
Again, that's part of the, I mean, where do you start, right? It just sort of flakes apart like an onion. We're trying to teach those interested in counterculture the culture they are trying to counter, and then postulating these scenarios that are, I'm sure they did happen. They must have, because you cannot discount any experience. But yeah, you're right. You would run up and you would send your youngest, or you'd leave the car in park and running and you'd throw it into the thing.
Especially if you have no time.
Yeah, you're not going to run in and be like, here, I'm returning this. And they'd go, great. How did you like it? And you go, I love Tom Cruise. And then they go, isn't it weird? He's a Scientologist. And you go, yep. And they go, you know who else is a Scientologist? John Travolta. He was in the movie Grease. And they go, I've never seen that. And you go, good news. We've got that for rental in the musical section. And they go, I don't know. I've got alleged feelings about certain things, and also it's 18 feet that way. And they go, don't worry about your alleged feelings, we're decades from allegations. And you go, whoo. And they go, I'll send this man over who will grab you by the waist and lift you into the sky, who will burn his own leg energy for you to collect a video cassette and walk you back up here. He's from Tibet. Does that sound real?
Yes.
Just one guy in the back.
Hello?
Uh-oh. Oh, just kidding. So right away, you can see this guy is intimidated by his biceps. He's looking directly at dude's biceps, and he's like, uh-oh, this guy is buffer than me. I wore the semi-long sleeves. He's already uptight because this bitch is way too close, and her energy is probably hitting the back of him like an ice wall. Nice pecs, too. See, he could have been like, hey, you staring at my pecs? Missed opportunity.
Yep.
Put that in your notebook.
That's going to be example B or guidebook B or whatever the hell this is called.
You see a dude staring at your biceps, tell him how many curls you rub. Tell him how much weight you're pulling up.
Flex your pecs a little bit.
How's it going, Mr. Lopez? Been enjoying your free rentals?
Yes, I have. It's a great program.
What program is that? How do you get free rentals?
Hey,
That's
listen
the
to me.
Rewards program.
Hey, why don't I deserve free rentals. Hey, you, sir.
My name is Brenda.
Let me finish up with Mr.
God
Lopez.
damn it,
here,
Brenda.
and I'll tell you all about it.
Okay, sounds good.
No, I want you to tell me now. Screw Mr. Lopez. You tell Brenda right now. She's Southern all of a sudden. You tell Brenda what's going down with that membership program.
It sounds like, oh, God, the lady from the
What?
Cleveland show.
Which one?
Being a customer service champion means
Lord.
taking personal responsibility for
Kendra?
ensuring that the
Yes.
customer receives the best possible service from Blockbuster. This may mean going to the extra mile for a customer.
To the extra
Here are
mile?
two
Kayla says, I'm learning so much, and now I'm ready to be a Blockbuster ASMR or whatever they call their lackeys.
Yep.
CSRs. CSIRs.
Back in the CSSR.
video examples of CSRs demonstrating ways to be a customer service champion. Each video example
That's a CSC. That's when you ascend. That's like Thetan level 3 when you can fly and shit. Bring it back Scientology, y'all.
In video example 1A, the CSR misses an opportunity to be a customer service champion.
What you'll want to do is take a Blockbuster stress test by holding these two cans above your head.
Hi, I'm looking for a film called Last Holiday with Alec Guinness.
Never heard of it. My computer says it doesn't exist, ma'am.
Sorry, we don't carry that one.
Okay, thanks for checking.
No problem.
What he should have done was...
Sure, let me check if we carry that for you.
Would you like to watch something with Alec Baldwin instead? The
No,
Shadow is
he's-
pretty good, and we've got 19 copies.
He's going to say, sorry, our location doesn't carry that one, but this one in blah, blah, blah does, and I can give them a call and have them hold it for you.
The CSR is a customer service champion.
We've never gotten any answers yet. I don't think the question I gave to the chat that they never answered, we never got the answer.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yes, she said, how did you like it? That was the whole De Niro thing. How did you like the movie? And then I only have
Totally forgot.
Hi, I'm looking for a film called Last Holiday with Alec Guinness.
How about The English Patient with Matthew Broderick?
We don't stock that one here, but we do have some other great Alec Guinness movies. Have you ever seen The Lavender Hill Mob?
Yeah, actually that's one of my favorites.
Do you want to watch it again for $4.99?
But I really had my heart set on Last Holiday.
You know, maybe we can find a copy from one of the other stores.
Bam,
you want to go ahead and
bitch!
call them for you?
Yeah, that would be great.
Count it! Kayla says, I'm sorry, we don't have anything with Alec Guinness, but I can sell you a 6-pack of Guinness.
I can check his book of records for you. P.S. Bullshit, right? I'm calling bullshit. Even if this is... we're still in VHS time, so god damn it, maybe I'm wrong. But like, even at at Zia Records, when I worked there, we had such a rudimentary operating system for our cash registers. It was literally just text characters. It looked like a DOS prompt screen, but we were still able to check inventory from all the stores, even, I don't know if we'd opened the ones in Vegas yet, but like we were able to see all of the inventory we had cataloged everywhere.
Yeah.
And that was a locally owned, like Zia Records started by just a dude who owned a bunch of records who was like, I want to spread the love. And like, it felt like booting up into my dad's first computer, but we still had the access. And Blockbuster's a billion-dollar company at this point in time when we're watching this. Like, they don't have the ability to fucking like search other stores' inventory. Like, that would be invaluable, especially if you were going to do maybe you don't mind driving another 20 minutes to another store, which, again, in this time period isn't outlandish because if the internet doesn't exist, GTFO.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Let me get some information from you so I can let you know
Indie
where
film
to
called
find it.
Star Wars.
Do you want to wait for me to check for you?
Fine, I'll wait.
Did that sound like a threat? Do you want to wait?
Hold on a goddamn minute, Karen.
Get into the fucking back and put the lotion on your skin. And then put it back in the basket.
I'm glad that song wasn't 15 seconds.
What song was it?
It was a country song that they probably could have gotten in trouble for to have unless they bought it.
It's in a movie. Plus, this isn't meant for syndication.
Hi, I'm Jeff. You look like you could use some help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rented a movie from you earlier. I'm Mr. Lopez. Remember that bitch Karen behind me wanted to fucking get on my
Free
membership?
videos?
Fucking, what was her deal?
And he's
Hi,
just standing there.
Mark sent me in for a movie, and I can't remember the name.
Great.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Was it The Shadow by Alec Baldwin?
Well, and how?
Good news. We have a lot of The Shadow starring Alec Baldwin.
And if his wife was like, "Hey, when you go to Blockbuster, can you pick this up?" And I wouldn't give you a whole breakdown of the summary of the movie. I'd be like, "Can you pick this up for me?"
Right, but if he's one of these idiots who... This is the thing, that we're playing the trope. So the stereotype here is that he was thinking about beer and or football while she was like, yakety yakety yak, am I right, guys? Women talk a lot. And she was talking about the movie, and he was like, fine, I'll go get it if it'll shut you the fuck up. I'll also pick up a pack of Michelob Ultra, maybe two. One I'll polish off in the garage. So now he's like thinking about those Michelob Ultras, and he's like, fuck, what was that movie? And so he's going to have to go through a convoluted bunch of details that poor What's-His-Nuts is going to have to go over. Or watch
Hi,
this.
I'm Jeff. You look like you could use some help.
You look lost,
hi,
Jeff.
Mark sent me in for
Mr.
a movie, and
Lopez.
I can't remember the name.
That's tough, Jeff. I got 99 problems with a bitch ain't one. I got to get back to the register.
Gotta work these biceps.
What kind of movie is it? Action, romance, comedy?
Is it Tailspin, the syndicated animated Disney series they used to play in the afternoons? Is that it,
It's a
sir?
comedy.
Do you know?
It's a comedy. Anything else, bitch? Like, here's the thing. When I went into a place and I did not know the name of something legitimately, I desperately recounted and regurgitated all the details I could. This guy, look at his fucking ass. Both hands in his pockets, not a fucking care in the world. And he's like, yeah, my girlfriend sent me in. The stakes already super low. It's the 90s and women, am I right, bro? And you think you can help me out? And the dangling question is like, well, what the fuck?
I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember her name.
It's The Mask.
Okay, have you seen her in any other films?
Yeah, we saw her in that movie. It's about email.
Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, you mean You
Meg
Got
Ryan.
Mail?
Yeah, that's it.
That'd be Meg Ryan.
Yeah, that's her name.
Okay,
Yeah.
she's been in lots of good comedies, like
Lie. Our polygraph detected that that was a lie.
Sleepless in Seattle with Tom Hanks. Could that be it?
Sleepless and...
Like, bitch, You've Got Mail is essentially just the soft reboot of Sleepless in Seattle, right? Like it was, I feel like it was the same carbon copy, except it's like, what if instead of paper, they got in touch via email? Or am I out of touch? Was Twilight about werewolves? I don't know.
Seattle. No, I don't think that's it.
Let's see. She's also been in
French Kiss. That's it. That's the one.
Oh, great. Let's go find it.
Oh, you know what? I'm actually also looking for The Shadow, the 1994 classic starring Alec Baldwin. Can you help me out with that?
Thanks.
I'm gonna walk with my hands in my pockets like a weirdo.
Hey, he's a casual as hell dude. He knows what he's all about. He's like, my bitch don't care.
Who walks like that?
This dude, Mr. Lopez. You know him. Putting service to work and working the service.
Why isn't the F capitalized? Everything else is.
Oh, yeah.
God damn it.
Joe versus the Volcano. That was not for nothing, but that was one of those movies that was on local reference. Channel 45 every other Sunday, I feel. I must have saw the last 10 minutes of that a zillion times.
Learn and practice the 3 service principles. Focus on the customer, take
The
personal
Eightfold Path of Holy
and
Blockbuster.
use good judgment. Using these service principles when everything is going right is important in building customer loyalty.
When it's going
What will
wrong.
often keep customers loyal is using the principles when things aren't going so well. Since this requires special skill and some adaptation of the principles,
Her hands
the
look
next
really
3
big.
modules focus on 3
Yeah.
challenging service scenarios.
She was man-hands in Seinfeld.
Recovering from customer dissatisfaction.
Polly's Cracker. I
providing
love
great
Joe versus
service
the
and
Volcano.
visit-
It's an interesting story, right? It's one of those light. I'll lump it in. There are just some movies I pigeonhole away in the same gut check feel, not necessarily the same genre, but like Noises Off, starring Christopher Reeves, Michael Caine, John Ritter, yada yada yada. Noises Off, 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton and company. Maybe even Joe and the Volcano give me sort of that nostalgic, sort of old-timey vibe when movies were still stories and not rides.
I've never seen any of those that you named.
Noises Off is so fun. There was no reason I should have liked it. I fell in love with the VHS when I was like super early teens. It's based on a play, and Michael Caine's the director, Christopher Reeves, John Ritter are in it, and it's just an all-star cast. You know, chef's kiss.
Your stressful times and providing great service in slower times.
It does start dark.
This module explores ways to recover from customer dissatisfaction.
But they refresh my memory, but didn't they just regurgitate that idea with Last Holiday with Queen Latifah? Like it's essentially the same thing. Someone finds out they've got a terminal or thinks they have a terminal illness, so they're going to huck their life into a proverbial volcano.
Oh, that's what the movie's about?
Basically.
Let's face it, no one enjoys it when things go wrong and a customer becomes dissatisfied. And yet, CSRs say
Do
that
you?
when they can quickly resolve the problem, the dissatisfied customer often becomes the store's #1 fan. It makes good business sense to settle
I
problems
don't
and
think so.
concerns. When you work hard to make things right,
play
it's
hard.
called recovery. Successful recovery can turn disappointment to delight and have an extraordinary impact on customer loyalty.
Remember that Alec Guinness thing? She was delighted.
CSRs often follow these steps when recovering from customer dissatisfaction. Listen and demonstrate that you want to be of help.
Take a knee.
Repeat or paraphrase your understanding of the complaint or problem. Apologize for the customer's disappointment or inconvenience. If it's a problem, explain what steps can be taken to correct the situation and keep it from happening again. Then ask for feedback. If it's a complaint, suggest ideas to help the customer cope with the situation. Then ask
Try taking a deep breath and shutting up. And leave.
for feedback.
We don't have Alec
Take the
Guinness on
appropriate
tap.
action and follow up. Here are 2 video examples of CSRs trying to recover from customer dissatisfaction.
Whoa,
video
I'm
has
off
2 parts.
balance. Time to
Video
recover.
example deals with a problem rather than a complaint. In video example 1A, the customer expresses dissatisfaction, but the CSR misses the opportunity to recover from it. In
This is
video
gonna be
example 1B,
brutal,
the
I can
customer
already
again
tell.
expresses dissatisfaction, but this time, the CSR recovers from it effectively.
Whew.
As you watch these two examples, keep in mind that these are
Think about it like this. We've all watched Dragon Ball Z, right? You know, when they're really fast to each other and like, whee, and then there's this explosion and they separate and they fall to the ground and one guy doesn't give up. That's if you do bad. He doesn't get up and you go, oh, not recovery. But if you're Goku and you stand up and you fight the customer, beyond that, you're a real blockbuster Super Saiyan hero.
situations where you do have
It is a
personal
blockbuster
authority to
training
resolve
video,
the
Polly's
problem.
Cracker.
Some situations, however, are beyond your control or
We're learning how to be
authority
good
resolve.
CSRs.
Examples include, but are not limited to, those involving the media, legal issues, or allegations such as racial or ethnic insensitivity. These situations...
You would have been fired.
This was always crazy too, because when you got to a company that was big enough to have like formatted training like this, they always had to do that.
Yeah.
No matter what, in every, like whether it was Petco or beyond, it just always felt so bizarre to me. Like if someone from the media shows up, I filed that away in the same category as like whenever my parents were like, if someone touches you where your underwear covers, like it was just a thing that never happened, but it always stuck out of my mind. Like, that's just weird. Like, who would touch me where my underwear covers? Number one, I'm just a kid. And number two, why would the media come in talking to me? This is a Petco.
Polly's Cracker says, I remember working for Blockbuster in 1992 as an assistant manager, making $5.20
Look at
an
that
hour.
shit. I was making $6.10 at my first job, and that was after 2 raises.
should
I was a
be immediately
supervisor.
turned over to your manager on duty. Don't try to resolve these yourself.
Did you watch
Your
this
MOD
training
will know
video?
where to turn for
Is this bringing back memories?
Did you have to do a workbook when you did your training?
If it was 92, this is probably after 92 for sure. This is like 90.
You know, I really didn't like that
Seven-ish.
video.
On a cassette?
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, like it wasn't until like the early 2000s that, because it like History of Violence was the last movie to be put on VHS, and that shit came out late. Like my, whatever. I felt like my parents were early adopters to DVD, and I was like, that's fucking stupid, because they bought a DVD player that back in the day, the technology allowed you to have a single device that played a single disc, and it was $800.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward a year and a half, you can have 800 DVD carousel for $60. But I was like, this is stupid. Like, who gives a fuck about DVDs? Like, they just felt so insubstantial to me. Yeah, keys to the store. So that's a, when you get keys to the store as like anyone under the age of like feel like 21, if somebody hands you the keys to the store, if you're like an upstanding human being, it makes your balls or your boobs, depending on your sex, feel a little heavier.
Maybe the next one will be better.
Yeah, I like that heft. See you next time, bitch. What shouldn't she have done? Talked bad about our Lord and Savior, Tom Cruise. Blockbuster is a Scientology front.
You know, I
It's
really
conspiracy
didn't like
theory.
that video.
I'm sorry to hear about that. Was there anything in particular?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, it was the language. The bad language was a little too much for my taste.
So, you'd like to avoid movies with strong language?
May I? Yeah, like you can stop me. May I please hop along this tangent, because it's something that always confuses me. So movies, like, they live and die on their advertising. So it's always shocking to me when someone's like, I didn't expect this or that. Because, like, the nature of the beast is you know exactly what you're getting. Like, the commercial 9 times out of 10 will spoil the entire movie for you and basically give you an idea. And so I had a friend who worked at a movie theater and became a manager there, and he would tell me about the people who would come in and demand a refund for the movie that they were seeing because they didn't like it for this, that, or the other reason. I thought, how is this possible? Like, a physical product, I get. It's defective, food, it's bad, it's weird, it tastes bad, something's broken. I get there's an exchange of something where you go, oh God. But like a movie, like, just suck it up, Buttercup. I want to say, like, this is back in the day when movies under $20 probably per ticket. I don't know what they are today.
Well, and they had ratings. And they said violence, like explicit.
That's why I don't. There are some industries where you go like, does this really have to be a fucking thing? Where like, I was watching this movie and I know it said it was rated R, and like Blockbuster, you didn't get to see the actual movie case. It had that Blockbuster printout that said the rating and all the things that entailed.
Yeah.
So people like this bitch right here are stupid, and that is annoying because we have to make everything idiot proof for this specific reason.
Well, like, why are you telling me this? You could have just returned this outside.
I'm sorry it wasn't what you were looking for.
Joe says the one time that scenario ever came close to happening was when I worked at Barnes & Noble and trans bathroom bills were becoming a thing and corporate put out a memo. Oh, with the, yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, accomplished, right?
Yeah. Getting keys.
Tell me more about what movies you've liked, and I'll try to make some recommendations.
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
My pleasure.
9 times out of 10, it's the customer who comes in to make like suggestions to you, the employee. I got to recommend music 1 out of every 10 interactions where something was exchanged. Everybody was always telling me to listen to this, that, or the other, but that's just it. Like, you don't go into a record store, I feel like. There's 2 types of people. One person comes in to commiserate with you and get a new thing, like get the new album and maybe talk about what's coming up. And then there are those dudes who are dyed-in-the-wool fans of whatever and try to sell every employee of the store on their way of life.
Mm.
I had a metal guy constantly coming in and selling me on just being a metalhead. There was this tall, like he must have been 6.5 feet tall, this huge black guy, thin as a rail, looked like Bootsy Collins, and he wore a straw cowboy hat with feathers in it. He was constantly being like, you got to listen to Cameo, you got to listen to Parliament and the Funkadelic All-Stars.
I was Cameo.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I was never selling. I was always getting sold.
Right.
Hi, did you find everything you were looking for?
No.
Yeah, I guess so.
Great. Ms. Johnson, were you aware that your account shows $3.50 in extended viewing fees?
No, I wasn't aware of that. And besides, that's impossible. I return everything on time.
Well, that's not what it says here. I'm looking at 2 films that
And
were due back on
besides,
the 13th
that's
and return
impossible.
on the 14th. Blade and American Pie.
You know something? I don't care what you're
Fuck
looking
you.
at. I return those movies and every other movie that I've ever rented from you guys on time.
Now, I know you think you did, but maybe you dropped them off after 12 noon. That's a really common mistake. Lots of customers...
Why do I feel like I'm being accused of something? Are you the video police? Do I have the right to remain silent? Should I call a lawyer?
Look, I'm not sure what you're getting so...
It's
$3.
$3.50, bitch.
She's not saying you can't like rent a video. She's just letting you know.
Like,
was noon really a cutoff for like?
Probably. I don't know, because it can't be midnight. They close.
But they have the thing.
Right, but who's there? Like, who's gonna scan the video?
Oh yeah.
The person would have to. I guess you can say midnight the next day, and if the person comes in the next morning, you say it's a mulligan. But I don't know. I get both sides because rules are rules, and they could hypothetically lose money not having Blade and Love Actually back that extra day. But
American Pie was a big movie back in
was
the.
it American Pie? I thought.
Said about. I'm just
The
doing my
madder
job.
she gets, the
We're
hotter
only
she
talking
gets.
about $3.50. Some people owe a lot more than that.
You don't get it, do you? I don't believe this place.
No, that wasn't hot. Her
If
mouth
she
was
were a
weird.
better actor, I'd agree with you, Polly. Like, she does have that fire, but it's a match head. It needs to be like an inferno.
Anyway.
$350, bitch. And like, remember the 3 people we cut the reaction shots of? Where are they? Like, she's just gonna go back to typing, and she's like,
Mr. Lopez is still realized he got the wrong movie, so he went back to go get the other one.
Hi,
let's see how
did you
she
find
handles
everything you
it
were
this
looking for?
time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Great.
What do you mean you guess so?
Miss
That's what I thought
Johnson,
we were
were
at
you
the
aware that
sticking
your
point.
account shows $3.50 in extended viewing fees?
No, I wasn't aware of that. And besides, that's impossible. I return everything on time.
Gee, I'm sorry. The computer is showing 2 films that were due back on the 13th and return on the 14th. Blade and American Pie.
I haven't the faintest idea why the computer is showing those films as overdue.
Does she look like a Blade or American Pie fan?
No. Like, why did they
I
choose
can
those
tell
two?
you that I returned those 2 films and every other film that I've ever rented from you guys on time.
So you're saying those films were returned by 12 noon on the 13th?
I don't remember the date, but I know they were on time.
Okay. Let me credit your account for the additional rental fees. I'll do that immediately if it's okay.
Yes, please take care of that.
That shouldn't be something that needs to be fixed. That should just be, I don't know. It's like, I'm sorry, but that's.
I know this is like, whatever, cliche, but like the thing that comes to mind, like the word simp comes to mind. And it wouldn't have if it weren't like, because, you know, if you've worked a customer service job, you've done this where you go, okay, fine, fuck it. Like, I've done it too. If it's under $20, it's not worth my fucking time, right? So I'll go, whatever, fine. We'll call it a mulligan. You have yourself a good day. I don't then like lick their boot and be like, okay, I'll take care of that right now, sir, ma'am. Is that okay with you, ma'am or sir? Is that okay? And they go, I guess.
Mean Girls
Mean
fan.
Girls fan.
Yeah. Can't confirm.
Everybody's got their thing, you know, and some people like to
wear pink on Wednesdays.
Wear pink on what? Is that a thing?
On Wednesdays, we wear pink. That's what Mean Girls does.
Oh, I didn't see that movie.
I didn't until I was 30.
Okay, that's taken care of. Would this be all?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Ms. Johnson, these are both due back in 5 days. By 12
Remember
noon on the
that.
28th. Enjoy your movies. And again, let me apologize for the mix-up.
Thank you.
It wasn't really a mix-up. I returned them on the 14th, but I wanted to be a bitch.
I've got an issue because letter of the law type person will say, no, you were late. We don't make mistakes. You owe the money. And if corporate policy is to be like, well, fuck it. Like, if the fees are there for a reason, maybe that's why they're there. Is like, because what a brilliant business scheme, right? Like, just to have something like that, like an inconvenience fee or a late charge or whatever, that's always waived as soon as anyone bucks up any dust.
Yeah.
Like, so everybody wins. The people who are too timid to say, I don't feel like that's fair, you get paid by them. And the people who are like standing up for the little guy and go like, not me, I'm a working class citizen who doesn't pay late fees, they get to feel like a hero, so everybody wins. It's a little annoying, but it works.
It's totally fetch.
Fetch.
All of us have stress hot buttons that can cause us to behave in ways that have a negative impact on the quality of the service we provide.
You know, like the unstable situation in the Middle
Challenge is
East.
to adapt your use of the service principles when you're busy or under pressure. Here are 2 examples of CSRs trying to provide great service in busy
But failing,
times.
obviously.
Each example has 2 parts.
Aye.
In example 1A, the CSR misses an opportunity to provide great service during a busy...
Now imagine if the person stopping this video to talk to you were actually invested in you being a good Blockbuster employee. Like, what a fucking misery. Like, if every time I stopped this, I were like, now, what do you think the situation called for? If you were trying to get a VHS cassette tape into the hands of that angry yet attractive woman, according to Polly's Cracker.
busy and stressful time. In example 1B, the CSR does manage to provide great service.
I want to take a look at 1F.
Hello, find everything you were looking for?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Dante's
Probably gonna
back.
see the new Tom Cruise movie.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. Are you a big Tom Cruise fan?
I think he's taken on some more interesting roles lately.
I really enjoyed when he jumped on Oprah's couch. Are you going to answer that fucking phone?
I like some of his earlier stuff too. A couple of weeks ago, I watched Top Gun.
Did you see Cocktail?
Those dogfight scenes were spectacular, and the soundtrack on DVD.
Debbie
was awesome.
Gibson.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Seriously? No. Yeah. Blockbuster.
How can I help you?
Do you have videos? Yes. Okay, thank you. Bye. Anyway, about Tom Cruise.
Hello, find everything you were looking for?
He's
Yes, I
OT
did,
level
thank you.
3. Did you know that?
Finally get to see the new Tom Cruise movie.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. Excuse me just a second.
Can you imagine that in 20 years he'll be 60 and still doing action movies?
Blockbuster, this is Caesar speaking.
Blockbuster.
Great. Thank you for calling. Hope to see you soon. Thank you for waiting.
What do you think that person said? Hey, it's me, Gary. I love your store and I'm coming in to rent a video. Great. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks for calling.
Obviously, no question was asked because he did not fill him in, which the obvious question would be, do you have a copy of The Shadow starring Alec Baldwin from 1994? And obviously, so what they probably did was they called and said, hey, it's me, Gary. I'm coming in for my weekly viewing of The Shadow starring Alec Baldwin from 1994. Be in a minute.
Great.
Carlos? Woo!
Sir. Now back to Tom Cruise. You're a big fan?
Huge.
I think he's taken on some interesting roles lately.
Are we gonna? What? What about his roles? Just gonna leave that hanging?
Did you know he does his own stunts?
Hi. How's it going today?
You started out okay.
Maybe you
Well,
should
when you
leave.
got a good video, it's bound to get
You know,
better.
Mr. Lopez is holding that
My day will get better when this line starts moving.
movie.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, pedo stash. Fucking get out of here. I'm trying to see Total Recall, and you are in my way. I'm gonna handle this lady with the Kit Kats and the Andes Mints next. You're on my radar, bitch. What a difference. Wow.
Why is everybody holding their movies like that?
Oh my God. That's BTK.
How's it going today?
Yeah, it started out fine.
How can I help you?
You can make this line move faster.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me open another register.
I said that earlier.
Yeah, totally did.
10 minutes ago. Why are we just now thinking of this?
I can take the next person.
Hey, what about me? I'd say. Stop tape. So do you agree? Should he have opened another register? I'm open to suggestions. Write it in your workbook.
Hi, it's me, Gary. You guys are holding that copy of 9.5 Weeks for me, right?
Oh, yeah. I love 9.5 weeks. Oh, fuck.
Why is it that when customer traffic slows down, so do we? Sometimes
That's the stupidest question I've ever heard.
it's tempting to view such times as downtime, a break in the action. We seem to shift from attention to at ease. But slower times let us get creative in our approaches to customer service. We get a chance.
We should start doing PT, cleaning the latrine, making our beds, or cutting our hair with military precision. Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a fascist.
To try new things and interact on a different level with customers both in the store and on the phone. Slower times present us with unique opportunities to build customer loyalty. Unlike the other video modules, these examples are not two-part ineffective effective segments. Instead, they focus on effective ways to give great service during slower
Finally.
times.
I know how to be ineffective at shit. That's my whole existence.
Hello, may I speak to Mr. Simmons?
Hey, you haven't been in to rent a video lately. I would just like to tell you that we have several copies of The Shadow starring Alec Baldwin, the 1994 blockbuster hit, and I would be glad to set one aside for you should you need to come down here today.
This is Perry from Blockbuster Video.
Perry Gillis?
I'm calling to let you know that the tape you returned this morning was missing the video inside.
I wasn't aware of that. Are you sure?
All of their
Are you
customers seem
sure?
to be unaware of everything that they bring to their attention.
Didn't it feel light, Mr. Simmons?
I was unaware of that. It felt normal.
Yes, sir. It may still be in your VCR.
You may be right. Let me check.
Oh, you know what?
I'll bring it back.
In addition, I was not kind and I have not rewound. So, Perry, I failed you as a human. I'm sorry, and this will be my last action as I am about to commit seppuku.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons.
For the honor of Blockbuster. That's an ideal customer right there. A DVD I would get because
yeah,
the nature of the beast, but a fucking cassette tape? Nice butt. Look at that. He's like, whoop, she turned around, so now he's got to glance at her back.
Hi there.
See how fast that was? He's like, zoom. Look around.
See you again. I see you're back picking up DVDs.
Yeah, love the format.
You know, I hear that from more and more customers. How can I help you today?
I'm doing okay, thanks.
What does DVD stand for?
Great. You know, we recently changed the appearance of the DVD section and added new titles. Have you noticed the change?
No.
You know, now that you mention it, I did notice there was something different.
What do you think of the change?
Well, you know, I am
Same
finding
song.
it easier to find selections. That's why I didn't ask for your help.
And I won't.
I will
glad
never
you've
take
added
my
more
hands out of my
titles.
pockets.
That's great. I appreciate the feedback. If you do need help, I'll be right over there.
Thanks.
I'll go back to staring at your butt. And then quickly looking away as soon as you notice I'm there. But then we can continue our conversation about the new release wall. Copy of The Shadow starring Alec Baldwin, the 1994 classic.
By using the principles you've just learned, you can help ensure the continued success of Blockbuster, one customer at a time. In other words, you can help Blockbuster not just survive, but thrive. by
Please
exceeding
help
your customers'
Blockbuster, please.
expectations. I'm Brandy Little. Thanks for watching.
Special thanks to blah, blah, blah. Let's see if we get a name. Dallas, Texas. I didn't hear a regional accent.
Your active participation will make it a worthwhile experience not only
Bloopers.
for you, but also for the others in your, but also for the other people in your life around you somewhere. I got a little tongue twisted, sorry.
Pow, baby, pow.
She had a different shirt on.
This, I don't want to spoil it, and I can't because I'm not seeing it though, so I can't. But this video feels old enough that we might catch some light sexual harassment in the bloopers. I just realized.
Yeah.
Buckle up. I can't promise anything, but we'll see.
Because we all know that no to
Take your top off. What?
Think about the different customers that help you each day is what I was going to say. I mean, isn't that what the videos are supposed to say? Listen to the people, do what you're supposed to do. You know what's going on. Get it right, it will come.
The slap in the face that would be these horrible bloopers after the spoon-fed bullshit of being treated like a child would just be the topper. Polly's Crackers, if you sat through anything like this and then went on to attain keys, you deserve some sort of blue Blockbuster heart of service.
Yeah, I was hoping to be able to find like a workbook of Blockbusters online, and I couldn't.
After watching the first one, decide which questions you might ask to tell the customer off. That's a good training video, right? It's just that
What? Her shirt was a different color.
I said that 5 minutes ago, and I got nothing.
It wasn't important until now.
Oh yeah.
the one thing, you know.
Did that happen during the training?
No, she had a black shirt on the whole time during the training.
Okay. What are you talking about?
What?
If I was
So
truly
that's-
being brazen, I'd be just like I was when I was a kid walking around.
So all the yellow shirt stuff
All
didn't
right?
hit the cutting
Make
room
the
floor.
sale. At whatever cost, make the sale. Have I been clear?
So there's that. What a great logo. God, do I miss Blockbuster Video. What the hell? Okay, so that being said, yeah, now we're all good at Blockbuster Video and shit. So I thought, you know, I'm always looking at, because I've got a whole like laundry list of training videos, as you can see here, that we can go through. But I thought, what is it? Like, what is this person? Upper Playground. what type of person hosts a 32-minute training video from Blockbuster? So I thought, that might be fun. Let's check out their channel and see what else they got. And it's fucking weird because... So this just says methadone, right? That's a minute and 38 seconds. It looks like it's about methadone. Here's something with Whoopi Goldberg and Bobcat Goldthwait. Here's a Raquel Welch Crystal Light commercial. I see no rhyme or reason. There's no personal editorial. Here's Bill Cosby explaining racism.
Wow.
For 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Here's a 1988 current affair adult models clip. Drugs news. These clips are all 3 minutes and under. Look at this.
Side note, Tony's probably correct. The background of the video was gold, so they probably had to cut. That's why they had to cut her gold shirt, because the background of the video was gold.
I thought it was...
It was gold.
Oh, like for the...
All the video parts where she's talking and all the words come up, it was all gold.
Well, the visual was, but like there was a blue screen. So I don't know. They probably did do that just so like... But yeah, it's weird that...
That is strange.
They show all the bloopers of the gold shirts.
I'm like, could they have made her shirt black? Like...
Not back in... I mean, we were seeing things of the raw footage. No, that was IRL. That was a real black shirt. But look at this. Here, look, this is called Alien Bird, 3 minutes. Do you want to watch any of these? Not really. Toes that cause hallucinations. Original gangster. M is for this. I'm not knocking whoever this is. They've got a very bizarre, eclectic taste, like this little nose dance video here. And thanks to them, we were able to get a little better about being a Blockbuster employee, but this is fucking insane. And this is just an average person on YouTube.
Joe says, is it the Alec Baldwin movie, The Shadow, broken into 17 parts and image flipped to trick the copyright?
Oh, it might be. Yeah, I'll have to go through each one of these videos to see how much Alec Baldwin has been mirrored.
Polly's Cracker says, Bill Cosby explaining racism?
Rapism.
Oh, rape. Oh.
Rapism.
I wasn't going to say that out loud.
Well, I mean, it's what he's known for best.
I know,
from
but...
R-word Albert, am I right?
Mm.
Whatever. So that's that. We did it. We got a little behind the scenes of the... And I would like to say that this is an outlier, right? Like everybody who we've gone to before for like our training videos is dedicated to nostalgia or training or whatever. They're all like this person. It's all like... It seems like the disorganized mind of a schizophrenic laid out in a YouTube format, because nothing seems to go with anything before or after it.
Yep.
But it's an interesting tapestry. And we wouldn't have had that without this person, so thanks to them.
Yeah.
Upper Playground. Anywho, guys, thanks for that. It was a nice break from the true crime. I feel like we should find something else to do besides that, because it's... I don't know. It's nice and I can make it lighthearted, but there's some. I'm running out of cases that I can make lighthearted, and we're eventually going to have to get to like the Justin Ross Harrisons or the ones that are like I'm still a little dicey about, but you know, all in good time. It's just nice to break away. Maybe we'll do some more commercials in the future.
Oh yeah, or we could play a game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Use your words.
But the games I'm always of two minds about, because if I play something that I can't interact with people with, it's kind of a bummer. And when we play Use Your Words, everyone's always so much smarter than me. I feel like I want to flip the table and run to my room and take my ball and go home. Maybe we can do more training videos. I've got, again, you probably maybe saw it. I've got the whole laundry list of, I mean, we can go anywhere from like training how to be a clerk at the AMP to how to prevent loss at a Woolworths. I've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
maybe we'll
Caleb
pop
wants
in.
we should do these more often.
Yeah, maybe we'll break it up.
Yeah.
It's hard though, because I want to lean into what I want, and if I don't want anything, I go, okay, now which of the things that I usually do should we do? And old commercials are nice. It's kind of like junk food for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
This I would like to feel like is wheatgrass for the soul, because now if Blockbuster ever comes back, now any of you could walk in and be like, you know what? I'm already credentialed. Save yourself the trouble. Just give me the polo.
Give me that workbook. I'll fill that shit out real quick.
Yeah, I'll fill out the workbook, not even watching the video, and that's how you prove you're a real Blockbuster video CSR. Jesus. That's another thing I don't like about, not that this needs to be belabored, but when corporations try to develop their own culture and their own vernacular, and then like they take that vernacular and turn it into like anagrams, or they shorten it or make it like hip and fun, it's always just like, I don't know. It gives off like that Sunday school teacher vibe.
Yep.
Where like they can play acoustic guitar. They're like dead set that they know what the pulse of youth is pumping, and they're just a laughing stock. Anyway, guys, thanks for showing up. We'll see you next time for another episode of Whatever We Do. I think we're doing the Sarah Boone case for the next couple of weeks because it is a huge chunk of footage and it's not going to happen in one go. So it'll be unintentional. He will be purple. We will see you next week for another episode of FFOP Radio. And that's it. Bye.
Bye.
For this